Okay. Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Batter's Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProChargeEV.com. All right, y'all, let's delve into it. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Tuesday night after practice. The good news, Sage Ryan returned to practice. I kind of gotten that word earlier in the day that he was going to be back, which is great to see. They're going to need him, clearly, for depth in that secondary. And then also the running backs returned. So Josh Williams, Logan Diggs, Armani Goodwin, all were back at practice. So as Brian Kelly said, there was a full complement of running backs at practice on Tuesday. So interesting day out at campus where power went out, and so LSU classes were canceled for the day. But Tigers practiced, and of course the lights were on at the football ops building. So they were able to have the press conference last night. So anyway, all right, we'll say some good mornings here. Tigers kind of going through a pretty normal week here before then. Next week is game week. So we'll get to your questions on the Saints side of things. Unfortunate, Ryan Connolly, the linebacker, really had played well. He was drafted by the Giants and played, I think, the last 3 years in Minnesota. He played really well in the preseason, was certainly a guy that was challenging to make the team as a backup linebacker and special teams player. As Dennis Allen termed it, a significant knee injury. So I think we can all assume what that means, and probably an IR candidate. So that clears the deck a bit at linebacker for the Saints. And then Darrell Williams, groin injury at practice yesterday. Doors open there for Ellis Merriweather now. If he could have a big week, he might steal a job from Darrell Williams. One worth watching. And then Dennis Allen also said Jimmy Graham expected to return to practice today for the Saints. So weird situation out in Cali last week where Jimmy Graham was arrested for being sort of disoriented and walking through traffic. But Saints said he had a seizure, which led to him being disoriented, and that's why he was taken into custody. He was under medical care. And anyway, back with the team, traveled back with the team, and is expected to be at practice today. So we'll see how Jimmy Graham is doing as well, so we can get an update there. So, all right, y'all, fire away. Questions, comments, you know the drill. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe up to the channel and smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Facebook, please like the Matt Moscone page, share the post. Okay, y'all have it. Let's see. Let's get to it. I was going to say y'all have an awesome day. Let's get to it here. Devin Johnson, good morning. State fans acting like LSU will lose by 40 is hilarious. I guess you mean Florida State. You can't possibly mean Mississippi State. Yeah, I mean, LSU's favored by a field goal in that game against Florida State, and rightfully so. I could see, Devin, I could see that being a really close game. I could see LSU winning a close game. I could see Florida State winning a close game. Weird things happen if you're in close games, one possession games at the end. It comes down to a final drive, a big turnover, a pick six, that sort of thing. I could see LSU going out there and it being 2018 Miami all over again, where LSU just asserts itself as a much more dominant team. But as they say, that is why they play the game. Joey Vincent, good morning. Pat Huseman, Wendell Norman, Brad David, Jesse Post, Trivia Carter, good morning. Trivia, hope your wife is doing well. Hope y'all are back home, man. Thanks for the update. Brian Wynn, Zach Swan, Josh Higginbotham. It's getting exciting. High school football starts up next week. College and the NFL. Yeah, man, it's here. I think you got jamborees this week, if I'm not mistaken, for high school football. It's upon us, for sure. All right. Jason H., Larry Gardner, Old Metal Machines. Good morning from Barksdale Air Force Base. All right. Well, if you are in the service, thank you so much for serving our country. To all the men and women in uniform, we appreciate y'all. Be safe out there. Tiger Diver, good morning. Brad David, do you think Texas will make the playoff? A lot of national media thinks they can. No, I do not. Excuse me. Texas, since their last national championship game appearance, right when they lost to Alabama back in 2009, since 2009, Texas has won 10-win season. One. It was the Tom Herman, Sam Ellinger year, the we're back when they won the Sugar Bowl. That's it. Since 2009. 14 years, one 10-win season. Steve Sarkisian, despite the fact that he has coached at Washington, USC, and now Texas, has never had a double-digit win season. So, no. I'm not giving Texas that benefit of the doubt at all. Also, I think the SEC will certainly be in the playoff. The Big Ten champion, Michigan or Ohio State likely, will certainly be in the playoff. I think both of those leagues have a great opportunity to get two teams in. I don't think it'll be two SEC, two Big Ten, don't misunderstand me. But I think one of those leagues will get two. Like last year, Ohio State and Michigan were in the playoff. We've seen Georgia, Alabama make the playoff in the same year. So I do believe between the SEC and the Big Ten, that will occupy 3 spots. And I think everyone is totally gone to sleep on Clemson. I sort of understand why there is a lot of talk around Florida State because they won 9 games last year, won the bowl game, got to 10. They beat LSU in the opener. They got the number one in the country in returning production. I get all that. Cade Klubnik, people forget, Clemson won 10 games last year. Clemson's down year was 10 games and an Orange Bowl appearance. So here's Clemson's schedule. Duke, Charleston Southern, FAU. They get Florida State at home. At Syracuse, who Dino Babers about to get fired. Wake Forest at home. Again, no Sam Hartman at Wake Forest. You go to Miami, who Mario Cristobal, let's get real. You're at NC State, no Devin Leary. Home against Notre Dame. What are they going to be? Sam Hartman's there now. But again, your 2 most difficult games are Florida State, Notre Dame, both at home. Then you're home against Georgia Tech, home against North Carolina, Drake May, home. And then you finish at South Carolina. So people are completely ignoring Clemson at their own peril, but that's Clemson. I think Clemson wins the ACC and is a playoff team. So no, I do not think Texas makes the playoff. Charlie Cavell, Dale Broussard, Sage Ryan injury update. Yeah, Sage Ryan was back at practice yesterday, so that's fantastic news. So not serious. Of course, it wasn't my shoulder, but not serious, and good to know that Sage Ryan was back out there at practice yesterday. So that's a great sign. Bubba Smith, Carson Stevenson. Good morning, Matt. When's Larry going to pay up? Love the back and forth on the show yesterday. Thank you, Carson. Yeah, we had a good time. So Larry's a good dude. I like him a lot, but I think he lost the bet. I don't know how. So for those that don't know, Larry Holder and I have a 3 years old bet that he said by year 3, that by year 3, Kyle Trask would be a consistent starter in the NFL. Well, he hasn't started at all yet, so I don't know how now we're starting year 3. He's not the starter. He lost the job to Baker Mayfield. How you could possibly say that no matter what transpires this year, that Kyle Trask is a consistent starter in the NFL. If he starts at all, it's a matter of by default because Baker stinks or there's an injury. So that's very annoying. Charlie Cavell, all right, man, calling Jamboree tomorrow night. Okay, dude. Good luck. Have a great season. Have a great call. Jeff McKithen, Kelly Gross, good morning, y'all. Glad you're here. YouTube, smash that like button if you would. Please subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. All right, Scott Fontenot. Just saw a post from Florida State fans saying the talent is comparable between LSU and Florida State, but FSU has the better coach. I was stunned. Wow. I mean, there is that narrative out there about Brian Kelly, but Mike Norvell did well at Memphis, which obviously got him the Florida State job. But here's Mike Norvell's overall as a head coach. Mike Norvell is 56-31. In his 3 seasons at Florida State, he's 18-16. He went 3-6 in the COVID year, 5-7 in 2021, and then last year they went 10-3. So he went 3 wins. Which, by the way, I feel like you kind of have to put a little bit of an asterisk by the COVID year because it was all conference schedules, we know. So, I mean, could Florida State, had they played 4 body bag games and maybe won a couple, maybe they're 6 wins, I don't know. But either way, but they went from 3 wins to 5 wins to 10 wins. So he is trending up. And at Memphis, he went from 8-5 to 10-3 to 8-6 to 12-1, and then got played the Cotton Bowl, and then got the then he got the Florida State job. So I think Mike Norvell is a good coach. I don't know how you could possibly compare Mike Norvell to Brian Kelly. That's I don't care who you cheer for. There has to be some degree of objectivity when you talk about a guy like Brian Kelly, who's been a head coach for 30 plus years and has won everywhere he's been. Come on. Bailey C., I feel like the Bills are now going to be what the Saints were with Breeze post 2009. Really good, but no Super Bowl. The difference there, Bailey C., is like, well, let me rephrase. I don't even think it's a difference. I would just like to point out that, the Saints had opportunities. It wasn't like they were just a good team that just wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. They had opportunities. They just had some epic playoff shortcomings. I mean, the 2011 team is the best Saints team ever. And the 2011 team was better than the 2009 team. But just happened to be a year where, you go 13-3 and you have to travel in the postseason. So, I went to Green Bay was 15-1 that year, I think. But anyway, you could look at the Minneapolis Miracle or the Nolan O call. I mean, a lot of that, it's like saying, Buffalo with Jim Kelly in the 90s went to 4 straight Super Bowls and didn't win them. I mean, sometimes it's really hard, man. It's really hard to win the last one. So, I mean, the Bills' window is very, very much open, and I think they could absolutely win a Super Bowl. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Reed Rule, Shelby Kelly, good morning. Ton of chaos in the sports world. Houston b-ball player died. I saw that. It's a bummer. Weston Weaver, good morning. Let's see, Brad. Since Handy and Ott are back on from 11-1, why won't they call it Sports Day? That was their decision, man. They wanted to rename the show. Apparently, Sports Talk Radio Show was taken. Bert Boy 878, ESPN released bowl projections this morning. Slaybaugh and Bonagura had LSU respectively playing in Cotton versus UT and Peach versus Tulane. So both in New Year's 6 games, which probably maps Bert Boy. And my guess is that they got LSU, winning the West, playing Georgia, losing the SEC championship game, and then playing in a New Year's 6 game, which would be a great season. If you go 11-1 and you get to the SEC championship game, you lose to Georgia, and you finish 11-2, and you play in the Cotton Bowl or the Peach Bowl, that's a nice consolation. But I don't think it's what this team is gunning for sure. But it does speak to Drew's backpack. Hang on a second. It does speak to the expectation that people have for this team. Sorry about that. Please smash that like button if you would. Appreciate that. Perkins for Heisman. Good morning, Matt. Really hope the Tigers are able to pound the ball on the ground and big boy them with the O-line. O-line looks good, man. They're getting a good test. I mean, when you got Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo and Jacoby and Guillory and all that beef that you're going against every day, I mean, that's a good test. Joey B19, Aggies, Arkansas, Ole Miss all think they're going 10-2. There's going to be a lot of disappointment this year. That I completely agree with you, Joey B. And that was one of the things that was one of my big takeaways from SEC Media Days was everybody was optimistic. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, optimism always abounds in the summer. And in part that's true. But every year at Media Days, there's always a semblance of reality surrounding a few teams where you go there and you, like last year with Auburn, like everybody knew Brian Harsin was a dead man walking. Like that was not going to be a good team. It was not going to be a good year. Brian Harsin was getting fired. Everybody knew it. Everybody said it. So it was odd that really nobody this year, I mean, even Vanderbilt was like, man, maybe Vanderbilt will get to a bowl game this year. Like everybody was brimming with optimism this year, which is weird. That usually doesn't happen. And so I agree with you. I mean, because somebody's got to finish last. So somebody which is when typically coaches tend to get fired. When you have expectations and you fall dramatically short of those expectations is when you get fired. Which is why I think this is Jimbo's last year in College Station. Kenneth Poole, good morning, Matt. Season's right around the corner. Did the O-line coach come back to practice? Wasn't he out recently? He was, Kenneth. So Brad Davis, his dad died. That's why he missed practice when we were there a couple of weeks ago, or I guess it was early last week. So his father had been sick and passed, and so he was excused that day. But he has returned. He was at the scrimmage on Saturday and he's been back. Trivia, unfortunately, still in the hospital. Doctor wanted an extra day to monitor my wife. She's feeling great. Can't wait to eat some real food. Good. Glad to hear that. Well, we're keeping you in our prayers, man. Barry Jocelyn, good morning, ladies and gents. Looking forward to seeing La Tech win their opener against FIU. Yeah, man, pulling for all the state schools. Barry, I like Sonny Cumbie a lot. Just not only as a coach, but on a personal level. He's been very nice to me. He's been very accommodating. Got to have lunch with him when he got that job. A group of us went out to eat at just had lunch like at TJ Ribs one day when he got that job, and got to talk to him a good bit. He's been on the show. So anyway, I like him. I wish him well, man. I really, really hope he does well at Tech. Josh Higginbotham, I'm sick of these FSU fans. They're annoying on social media. I don't know, maybe I'm just not engaging with Florida State fans on social media. Christopher, they've left me alone. I don't know. Christopher Lacombe, good morning. Irfan Sayad, Gamorgan. Dalton Barnett, Morton Matthias. Any chance we get a content appearance on Whiskey and Wine? Him and T-Bob postgame would be a dangerous situation. We might be able to make that happen. We might be able to make that happen. I could certainly talk to Big C. Eric Wildrider, good morning. Sure I missed it. Are Handy and not on ESPN YouTube channel? They are not, Eric. We don't have an on-site tech for them every day, and they are scared of technology, which is a terrible excuse, I know, but I'm trying to come up with what is an easy, fail-proof opportunity for them to be able to stream live on YouTube. We've got their audio figured out, which is why they stream on Facebook, but I want to make sure we can get audio-video in synergy, and if we do that, then I'm open to putting them on the YouTube channel. Scott Fontenot, if LSU wins, we'll have plenty of receipts to show. Pat Houston, Matt, will we see early December pool plunging if we win the SEC championship? Well, if LSU wins the SEC championship, Pat, I'll be there. So that's one of those things. Like last year, we went to Atlanta. For us to travel, it has to make sense for schedules, and then obviously for just financially, it has to make sense where we could sell and make money, which as a company, and which we absolutely can. I didn't go to Omaha, as we talked about, because you don't know the game schedules. Like, it was possible LSU could have played in the early window at 1 o'clock, and had they been playing at 1 o'clock, I'd have been on air during the game. You know what I mean? So, during the games in Omaha. So it did make sense for me to go. But SEC Championship will all be there if they go. Damon Gilmore, Gregory Gordy, Antron Hemingway, good morning. Another Brian. No Brian Kelly press conference today. I believe there's player interviews today after practice. Cajun Country, good morning. When are you going to get Yeski and Rooney on AFR? So I had Rooney already. I had Terry on whenever he got the job. So, Sean, you can probably find that if you go back in our on-demand. You could find Terry Rooney. But Yeski, we'll do that soon. So I know we're not in baseball season. I'm still watching LSU Florida highlights. Watch them forever, man. It's one of the great things about winning a championship. It never goes away. It's there forever. Ray Langlois, good morning. Robert Potts, good morning. Can't believe we're 2 weeks from football. We're less than 2 weeks from football, brother. You got week 0 this Saturday. Notre Dame against Navy in Dublin. You got Vanderbilt against Hawaii. You got Southern Cal playing San Jose State. You got games this weekend. Let's see. Seems appropriate here to give personal update. Found out this summer we're expecting our third baby girl coming to join the 2 older brothers. That's awesome, Robert. Congratulations, man. My family went boy, girl as well. So my brother, then me, then my sister Alicia. So it's a great dynamic, man. Congrats. Hope everybody's safe and healthy, and y'all have a super easy pregnancy for number 3. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Bubba Tatum, FSU fans are definitely annoying. Still not as bad as Florida fans. Either way, I need us to win. I have to live with these people. I said Bubba's down in Tampa. That's right. Lawrence Burley, good morning. Miracle Martinez, good morning. Reed Rule, the baseball presser yesterday got me hyped for the season. Looks like we'll have pitching depth for days. They definitely have arms. The most interesting thing I think that Jay Johnson said was when he was talking about Luke Coleman, the Alabama transfer, said he reminded him of Chase Dolander, who was the SEC Pitcher of the Year 2 years ago. Dolander's stuff, I think, is better than Holman, but I will certainly defer to Jay Johnson on that. Josh Higginbotham may be premature. Do you think LSU Arkansas will be a night game? Hang on. Let's see. All right. That's not what I wanted. Well, I'm short on time. Real quick, I'll look at this. Okay, so, all right. Saturday, September the 23rd, Ole Miss is at Bama, Auburn's at A&M, Arkansas at LSU, State at South Carolina, Kentucky at Vandy, Charlotte at Florida, UAB at Georgia, Memphis. Okay, so I do believe LSU at Arkansas will be a night game. The 2:30 game will either be, you've got 3 better options. You got Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn at Texas A&M. So the real question is, would ESPN or SC Network want LSU Arkansas at night, or would they stick LSU at 11:30 or 11 a.m.? Remember, the LSU Mississippi State game is already an 11 a.m. kickoff, so I don't think that they'll stick LSU in that window in consecutive weeks. So my guess is Kentucky Vanderbilt becomes the 11 a.m. game, or, well, you're going to have multiple 11 a.m. games because you'll have ESPN, SC Network. But anyway, yes. So, yes, I think LSU Arkansas will be a night game. I do. Based on the schedule grid, yes. Chuck Bro, good morning. Michael Thacker, good morning. Now, the Arkansas game is in September. Is that a preseason calendar W? I think the emotion around that game, Michael, shifts to LSU. Forever, it's always been in an emotional letdown spot for LSU. Either the Friday after Thanksgiving, which LSU always hated and resented, or the week after Bama, which was always going to be a down spot. Put it in September in Baton Rouge at night. Yes, I think that's a advantage LSU. I do, yes. Okay, I got to get going, y'all. Leon Williams, sorry I missed y'all. Man, there's still some I missed. Nick Dubison, their pools. Gotcha, Pat. Mark Allen. Did Matt just predict Jimbo getting the axe? I did, Mark. I was asked at SEC Media Days, one big bold prediction for the year. I think A&M goes 8-4, 7-5 again, whatever, and Jimbo gets fired. I do. Okay. All right, y'all, we're done. I got to go. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. I got to go. All right. Thanks so much for watching. LSU Daily is already live. So on your favorite podcast app, just search LSU Daily. Subscribe. Also, on your favorite podcast app, type in After Further Review. Subscribe. I'd appreciate that greatly. Please smash the like button on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you for AFR 3 Peace.